there's two kind of, major events that happened this weekend. One was Joe Mazzulla almost causing a brawl with Dennis Schroeder because he challenged a play up 30 with 3 minutes left. And then two was just the in-season tournament. I mean, we got a whole new court. And so I guess my official pick will be Joe Mazzulla almost starting a brawl with Dennis Schroeder, just because Dennis Schroeder is a baby and always been hashtag blame Dennis. I don't know why he got so upset with that. He got more upset than everyone else on press row, who's normally upset with the kind of a late challenge like that. Dennis Schroeder was more mad on the court. And it's just like, that's part of the game. Like, I don't understand why he was so furious. Like, there's random stoppages in basketball all the time. You're down 30. You're on the bench at that point, Dennis. Calm down. Just calm down.
I just thought there was a lot of time left for them to be mad about that. Like, 4 minutes left. Peyton Pritchard is begging for the review.
Which he does a lot. Pritchard begs a lot for a review.
But I think that was part of it. And it was right in front of the Celtics bench, the out-of-bounds play in question. It was very clearly off the Raptors and should be Celtics ball. And Peyton Pritchard, who has worked really hard last season, even while he was in and out of the rotation, a lot of the times out of the rotation. Now he's getting a chance to play. And Joe Mazzulla wants to show him, I'm going to keep coaching hard no matter what. And it matters to me that you have success and that you feel a major part of this. And so Peyton Pritchard is begging, and the ball is clearly out. And Joe's like, you know what? I got to challenge this. I got to keep coaching. And I understand why the Raptors were frustrated. It was a 27-point game. It was totally over. Mazzulla had probably played his starters way too long in the game right before that. They had just checked out of the game, some of them. And so I get being frustrated if you're the Raptors. But from Mazzulla's standpoint, like, he wants to keep coaching. And he wants the guys at the end of the bench who work as hard as they do to know that he's going to have their backs too. And so I didn't have a real issue with it from either side. And I think both sides are understandable, but it was very funny that Peyton Pritchard was begging for the timeout and review.
FanDuel is the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
I'm just excited now. We got a return match on Friday night up in Toronto. So you don't get a lot of juice in November regular season games.
Challenge Revenge Tour.
Challenge Revenge game, like, out of the gate, like, look out. And yeah, like, to your point, guy, like this is who Joe Mazzulla is as a coach. Like, you look at last season, like, he was stepping on teams' throats. It's like in these fourth quarters. And that's why, like, be true to yourself here. Like, this is, like you said, you want to coach hard the whole game. Like, hey, guess what, Raptors? How you guys do something about it? Like, as opposed to, like, complain about it. Like, yeah, you're down 26. There's not like there was 30 seconds left in the game. Like Jay said, it's like 4 minutes left. It's like, if it's right in front of you, you're going to tell your team, no, it doesn't matter. Like, we're not going to give you guys that extra possession. It doesn't matter. Then you're not really sending a good message to those guys that you care in that moment. So, like, I'm not surprised they got upset about it, but I don't think Mazzulla should feel bad about it at all.
And he doesn't.
He doesn't. No, he certainly doesn't.
Well, here's the other layer to it. He's just comfortable now standing on his beliefs.
Right.
If that happened last year, I don't think he comes out and says exactly what he did, which was, yeah, they were upset, and my responsibility is my players. I think he would have just tried to avoid the whole thing if he had been asked about that last season. But now, instead, he uses it as a chance to show his players, or to, like, live up to his philosophy that he wants to keep coaching till the end, and use that as kind of an example for the locker room. Look, guys, like, we're going to treat every moment as if it's a first quarter or like crunch time, whatever you want to call it. and I'm going to keep coaching you. And I just feel like it was another example of how he's more comfortable with his beliefs, with the foundation of kind of his coaching values. And so I think I like it for him to do that. I like it for him to just have principles, have values, and stick by them no matter what. Like it was a mini controversy. It doesn't really matter at all that the Raptors are pissed, whatever. But he stood on it, and he stood up there and he
If it's
said,
a lie,
you know,
we fight on that lie.
yeah. And he said, he's like, I don't even care if I'm right or wrong. He said, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that's my belief, and that's what I'm going to do coaching. And I told my players that, and that's important to me. And that's somewhere that I don't think he ever reached last year.
Well, I mean, speaking of standing on his convictions and standing up for what he believes in, what are you guys going to do when in a press conference he references an article you wrote 7 years ago? Are you guys prepared for that?
I'll say that must have been one hell of an article. I'm sure it was great.
I've been searching through my archives for the last week in preparation. Yeah, that's it'll be. But yeah, to Jay's point on that though, like he's leaning into it now in terms of his beliefs, and that is apparent across the board, like for all his interactions this past week. And so that's a situation where it shows the comfort level. It shows the awareness. And like, what are you more worried about? Like getting your players to buy in and like believing in you that you care to the end, or like pissing off a team that you're killing by 30? Like you're not going to really be a factor down the line. Sorry, Toronto. But yeah, in my mind, that's like, you know, you have to pick a side on that front. He clearly has the side that he cares about more.